Welcome back. We're going to use the JB Weld, a little goopy quick, and I also have the Loctite epoxy that's translucent yellow. It's like a clear. And we're going to use this to put little dab circles on the tips of each of the digits to prevent the sharp edge of the wire from poking through any latex, silicone, or other materials that are softer, more flexible, like the foams and whatnot. Um, the JB Weld, I think, it's a little gooier, stickier, and I'm going to use that to secure down the tops of the knuckle where we super glue. Remember, the super glue is just to hold them in place. It's not meant to hold them securely for animation. And so I'll also put maybe a little bit underneath the foot, and um, we'll then go into using Magic Sculpt. Really excited to show you guys Magic Sculpt for um, making the upper arm, some parts of the forearm, the femur, the upper leg, and lower legs to make them not bend, right? So they keep the flexibility at the joints. Um, a little more careful usually with the forearm bend. We can talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, let's get to it. So just a note when working with this, it's incredibly gooey and sticky, and a lot of tubes. I should have my cloth here. I shouldn't even try. I should try to not even handle them with my gloves because it's so easy to get this stuff. You see, it's already all over my glove. Um, and no matter what I've done with some of these, when we put them back, the two parts, yeah, it just comes gooing out. It's like it gets pressurized almost no matter what I do. I'm used to like tubes of say acrylic paint, or if you're working with watercolor gouache like there, because see it sucks back in. But it seems like no matter what I do, there's it pressure builds back up and these things seem to pop uh, out as soon as you open them. So just be aware that you want to not just wear gloves, but also be really clean and careful with your workspace. And I just cut the back, so any kind of box tops, any kind of cardboard. I have sheets and sheets of these. These make a nice slick surface. It's durable, and you can like mix together. So I'll keep my two parts here, and then I'll have another piece here to mix in. And then I just get any kind of stick, toothpick, whatever, and give this a mix. So we'll do the knuckles on the hand first, and try and make it as even as possible. You can see I didn't quite squeeze them out evenly, so whoa, I want to make sure when I'm mixing it's more even with the hardener versus the actual piece. And a little swirl. This one, we were just playing with the steel stick, right? So the steel stick sets really fast. You only have a few minutes, maybe 3, 4, or 5 minutes to really work it. This one, I think, upwards of 10 or 15 minutes. So recording helps me quite a bit. It gave me a little bit more time. And you can see it's a little light than what I'm used to, so I didn't quite get my 50-50 mix. So I'm going to add more black in there. There we go. And so it should be about a 50% gray almost. And make sure everything's out of the way and get little dabs. I kind of twirl my stick to wipe it off. I wipe and twirl at the same time. Get some dabs on there, and far away from my computer equipment. Gonna come up here at the knuckle, and let's get a good amount across these pieces. I'm gonna get a little closer to the camera for everybody. And there we go. And especially on the end of that pinky, on there on the side of the hand. And this other one looks like it popped down loose on me. I had it up to give it more of a knuckle. So if that happened, probably just handling it, and the super glue, the cyano is really fragile, brittle. In cases like this, like that's not like industrial. It's a wide, two wide surfaces. It works really well for, but as a just a little piece to hold like that's just not really what it's designed for. I'll get up here. Remember the thumb you want to bring down. You should bring mine down about a 45-degree or so like that. And dab it around to the wrist and from the back side as well. There you go. Okay, it's looking all right. And maybe go underneath here as well. You see it went pretty fast. So I'm being a little conservative with it at the moment, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Maybe in the back side of this as well. Okay, I'll go ahead and set this down for a moment and let's mix up some more. So yeah, definitely need more of the black side. And there we go. Man, be careful. You mix this all the way. Don't just like with the steel stick. I probably the biggest error in this process is people not mixing their two parts well enough and having it set and not even adhere all the way or stiffen up, and that's really frustrating. Especially because you gotta like pick it out, and that's not fun having to pick all this gunk out. So mix it up really good. And you saw me if you watched, remember the previous videos. I had um, I didn't get the crazy glue in there good enough, and when I shot it with the hot shot, it didn't really do all that much to it. So there we go. So one hand's done. Come around out to the other hand, and I'm gonna need much more to do the toes and the feet. Make sure I'm watching the camera here as I go, so I can kind of goose some on there. Get it in between. I'm gonna get it all the way around so it gets a good strong bond. You go to the back side of it, around the sides, in between. Trying to be really careful not to get it on the actual finger um, threads themselves. There we go. Yeah, bring the thumb down. Again, so far so good. I haven't gotten it all over the place, but I also haven't gotten it on the front or as much underneath yet. So I gotta work on that some more. I can always put a tool under here to keep it from the bottom of the palms from touching the surface. There we go. So bite the bullet now. Use my little fabrics, little terry cloth. I use these shop towels, these blue. They're super strong, reusable. Um, oh geez, I'm totally, totally blanking what they're called. I'll have to get that name in the next pause and make sure I get you a type. So yeah, see, it's already ready to come out right away. It's like shoots out. So I'm gonna get a good healthy amount this time for the feet and see if I can't flex that tube back out to stop oozing. So usually if you press the other direction, there it goes. It'll well back in there, a little vacuum. Then close that up. And yeah, I'm really paranoid because I don't want to get it on this my mouse clicking glove, right? And same thing, like when you do this, get some butcher paper down. You know, I'm pretty careful here on my cutting mat, but you want to have butcher paper down, and you want to be really certain that you're not going to track it around your house or get it on any of your good equipment. So there we go. Good squeeze that time. No, I might have a little too much black this time. Let's squeeze out. There we go. All right. And let's continue our little mix here. And I'm just showing you my way. Like, you know, you guys can organize your workspace, of course, as you see fit. You'll see when you're this mixing here, I have it separate. I'm going to do another pool here in a minute. You don't want to be mixing your fresh stuff in as too much with the stuff that's older that's been sitting there 5 or 10 minutes already. You want to kind of be mindful of that because it's easy to lose track of time. Much easier to lose track of time with this stuff than with the steel stick because the steel stick, it lets you know really quickly that hey, this is it heats. You can feel the heat literally, and with this stuff, it's not so obvious. It's kind of subtle when it starts to stiffen up because of the longer set time. And yeah, I would put my elbow on there so hold that still so it doesn't leap up off the table. There we go. And this one. Hold with my pinky, bring it up. There we go. That's better. And I got some, so I was trying to not do. So I get my leaner stick and take it off. And yeah, use a fair amount of popsicle sticks and different types of skewer sticks and kebab sticks. Um, for a lot of other stuff, I'll go down to the Asian market, 99 Ranch or 88 or whatever your local one is if you're in the Bay Area, and get a lot of bamboo chopsticks, like extra ones. Those are super useful. We go to the Daiso. Okay, check back over here again. Yeah, and I could put some more underneath here. Just making it nice and stronger than it needs to be. I think good approach. You get it up underneath there. I'm going to trim some of that excess wire down under the palm, maybe. We'll see. Underneath there. Some more there. Okay, let's move over to the feet. So if I want to, I can flex these arms out of the way because I'm certainly going to get the stuff all up on my arm and stuff if I don't move those out of the way a little bit. And you reposition these carefully. I'm right-handed, so let me bring that over here, my right hand, and let's get a nice big chunk. Judging from what we just did with the hand, we know we're going to need more for the top, bottom, and sides of the feet. Let's see, do I have another board handy? Got a stack of them here. Yeah, there we go. Just set this, yeah, it's got the clear lock from my last experiment. Just set that over on the side. Go, give that a mix. So when I'm done with this pile, I'll probably start a new pile. This might be it. That might be. Yeah, see, it's a lot darker. You can tell the colors. It should be. I said medium gray. I think it's a little bit darker than medium gray because it's starting off with like an off-white yellow. So what else? Cool. There we go. And these ones were barely sitting on there. Like I did it different. I didn't wrap these ones right. So these ones I'm really want to get that upper nice layer goo top, go underneath, and I go underneath from the big toe, from the back side too. There it goes. And then the outside pinky toe is the one I was most worried about. So let me extra gob over there. Yeah, cool. You're happy with that. And you can always trim and file and X-Acto blade this stuff off and chisel it. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I got this bulge under the palm. I'll end up clipping that, but not when it's setting. When it's setting, let it set. Like do like be as careful and as clean as you can. Make your adjustments later as much as possible. That way you don't run the risk of breaking loose the bonds that you're trying to create here. Trying to make these really strong because you don't want the bond. The bonds shouldn't break. It should be the wire you bend back. If you've done a good job with your armature and you fabricated your puppet right, you should be able to use it quite a bit. They break a lot in full feature film, but I mean that's a full feature film with multiple animators and hands on it for hours and hours every day. Right? Ooh, this is my alarm. And so yeah, they have a repair shop. They're just constantly repairing these. But for your own personal use, yeah, you probably should get away with using this thing for a very long time. Yeah, be careful running and shutting off my phone alarm and getting JB Quick on my phone. All right, so yeah, I can see up top here. Again, I'm being really careful, taking my time as I'm moving around. Don't want to get in a rush and get it somewhere I don't want it to be. There we go. So yeah, you'll see this. This is much easier to work with than the steel stick in terms of the finer details and kind of pushing it up around there. And it's not going to get all crispy and crunchy the way the steel stick will. And maybe you want something crispy and crunchy, but that's usually not what you want. It's usually, we can get into the epoxy, the um, when we get into the magic sculpts, you can, if you want it to have a bone like a more almost like brittle, solid but more chippy. Um, that's more the steel stick, and the magic sculpt. So that's going to be plenty, and I got extra here, so I'll just go back and maybe put a dab on the top of my knuckles and check underneath again, backside of my thumb, underneath, check the other hand again. Oh, I got the screws in the feet. I was wondering, what's that little rattle I feel as I'm holding and wiggling around? I forgot I was playing with the screws and I left them sitting in there, so didn't mean to do that necessarily. This is really hard to set this or to dab off the smaller piece because it wants to stick to the, doesn't want to come up. There we go. And then you can always, yeah, see, it's still really easy to work with. So the set time is pretty great. Get that down the side some more. And like I said, I'm overdoing it, but I know if it breaks, it's going to be the aluminum that breaks, not my, at least I think. Don't know. I'll feel confident that the tops of these knuckles are good. So yeah, I wouldn't dab these on the tips of the fingers. It's too gooey. It's too messy. Ah, there you go. Someone got it on the side of my thumb there. Oh, I just got on that finger too. Ah, okay, I'm done. It's time to set it down. And the thumbs up help that you can see how strong it is. It helps up, and our armature is nice and lightweight. So I can So carefully make sure and wipe away. And it will set. It's a good news. So you just have to be careful for that 10 or 15 minutes. So while I'm doing this, I think I'm going to let it set. I'm going to set my stuff that I know has a tiny bit of JB Weld on it, and then I just set those to the side. You see, I kind of, there's my waste left over, so I can, it's not much. I could, if you're really trying to conserve, or if you did really squeeze a lot out, just put it in a little Ziploc bag and then maybe try and get, so it's great to work on multiple puppets at the same time. And once I get this off, it's safe for me to touch my mouse. All right, and we'll come back and we're going to put the epoxy Loctite on balls on the tips of the finger.